In the bottom left side, we got ourselves a blue Protoss player. Fighting for no team anymore. He is ZEST. And in the top right side, we got ourselves a red Zerg player fighting for Alpha X. He is RAGNAROK. Alright. So, yes, this is what ZEST does in every single PvZ matchup. Every match as well, in every series. He will go across and block that hatchery. He's a fervent believer of the hatchery blocking. And as quickly as possible as well, he really dashes over there in order to get it. So what have you guys been up to today? I guess today hasn't been that long yet for at least the Europeans. Maybe you've already been productive though. Maybe you managed to do more than I have. Anyway. So far, what have I done? I've had some breakfast. Took a shower. And that's about it. Oh. I'm tired of the probe. Let's go watch something else. Shoot. We went back to the probe. Okay. Best of 3. It's a best of 3. Sorry. Thank you, buddy. We got another 5 best of 3s in front of us, overall. Just a straight up GSL format style kind of group setting with the 4 players. Match 1, match 2, winners match, losers match, deciders match. Stargate opening here for ZEST. Will be a while before we see something really flying across, but the Overlord for RAGNAROK here deciding to move away, and I'm wondering what exactly was or was not spotted so far, and I don't think there was a whole lot spotted, so a bit surprised that RAGNAROK decides to already move away. It's as if he knows that there's a void race coming up. To be fair, I mean, most of the PvT or the PvZ right now is in fact, of course, a Stargate opening, so maybe not the worst moves. Not the worst gamble you can make. Okay, 2 oracles overall so far. Don't think he'll be able to do too much. Oh, the Queen's mismicroed for a moment. Not sure, might give 1 more drone here, but no. Okay, 3 drones in total. Not the end of the world. Pretty alright. Pretty alright. There's no Spore Crawler there, but the 2 Queens kind of doing a similar thing as this Queen and the Spore Crawler, actually. I think a little bit less damage from the Queen overall, but just the mobility and the range kind of makes up for it. Oh, drones do get taken out. Only 2 of them this time, but still alright. 5 drones in total. Starting to get a bit wheezy in the worker count here for RAGNAROK. Maybe because he is still making quite a few circlings with this as well. 3 oracles now. A 4th one also coming up. Alright, well this is... Okay, loses 2. But that is, well, 8 more workers going down. How many is that in total? 13. 13 that little dronies getting shot from above. Getting themselves in a bit more trouble than they can manage. So a lot of oracles still being built, by the way. There's still more oracles coming in. And at some point, I have to wonder. I mean, is ZEST just not going to have any type of other army except for oracles? If there is a fight coming in here with roaches and zerglings, what does ZEST still have? What do you have, ZEST? 4 adepts. 4 adepts, that's all. He's making some gateways, he's making the robo as well. Maybe status traps, maybe that is going to be his way to keep the attack at bay, although it doesn't seem like there's any attack on the way. Ragnarok just happy droning up again. It's like, alright, well, I guess I can go really hard on the droning then. He has to. That's for sure. 4 oracles now. Don't think we have any more in the production for the time being. Well, still, this is some good damage once more. The Queens weren't here this time. And that is another, could be 9? Okay, no, it's going to be 8 more workers. Getting zapped. Little status trap action there as well. Getting 2 more drones, a little bit disabled. So we are having a transition here for both players. ZEST, of course, into the ground army. Seems like it will be mostly relying onto the charge slots and the Archons. And for Ragnarok, we see a movement towards the Swarm Host. The Swarm Host going to be an interesting kind of tool against what ZEST has. The Archons, of course, pretty darn good against the Swarm Host, their Locust attack. But we'll have to see here if the numbers are going to be working out for ZEST as well. Oracles and the Archons going straight for the main base. No time to waste. Take out the NT and we'll start whopping in Zealots there. More Zealots coming in at the same time through the front. Actually, they seem to have removed themselves from the plaza here. This does seem to be quite a manageable situation for the Zerg player. Let's see the other base. That is going to go down. So his 4th base will be destroyed. But he manages to hold onto his main base with quite a bit of success. So I think that on its own is already a small victory here. Now he is in the clear to start utilizing those Swarmos in whichever filthy way he wanted to. Bit surprised he does this without the help of a Nidus Worm, since there are the oracles and such kind of floating around as well. I think he needs to move away with those Swarm Hosts, because there is still an army kind of sitting there waiting to see where those Swarm Hosts are coming from, and that is going to be, oh boy, oh boy, yup. Just anticipating that the Swarm Host would be arriving from that angle. No, no Nidus Worm available here, and these Swarm Hosts, they get 1 single Locust Wave, guys. They get 1 single Locust Wave. That's it. Those are the worst Swarm Hosts I have ever seen do anything, really. It's hard to even say that they did anything. Double Warp Prism Harassment can throw in twice as many units right off the bat, of course. Bit more micro potential as well, I guess. It's fun to see though. You don't see it all that often, multiple Warp Prisms just in one location to drop more stuff instantly. Too many roaches to drop anything now though. Ragnarok remaking those Swarm Hosts here. Try to do a bit of a battle, okay. So far, neither of the players really committing. Did ZEST once again get another nexus or a hatchery cancelled here? Well, regardless, big fights happening in the middle. A lot of bios not quite managing to land on top of the Protoss army, but there's still a lot of Zerg remaining. Lonely Swarmost on the back foot does get taken out. It seems that ZEST wants to go for a base trade here. Has already committed onwards towards the Zerg's base. That is where he's marching towards. May decide to recall at a point later in time when it is needed to. So far it looks like he's perfectly happy just cleaning up all the creep. It's taken him a long time to get across here. The Warp Prism's kind of making up for lost time. There we go, a lot of workers going down at the same moment. There's not a lot of drones moving away from the carnage that is happening within the Zerg base here. A lot of Ravages are on top of that high ground area, and it looks like Ragnarok is just kind of moving back on his own as well. Actually, no, he's trying to catch all of these probes. Catching these probes would be important because, well, he doesn't have any drones himself around in the area. Doesn't have enough money either to start another hatchery if that the case needs to happen. Oracle's being a real pain here for Ragnarok, of course, who is being able to kind of coalesce his army into one big group. Get a lot of the outskirts units of ZEST here picked off. But everything together now for ZEST as well. Where are those Swarmos? The Swarmos feel like they are a necessary part in this. The Bios, ooh, that's some good mileage there. Oh, the Archon's just getting dropped on top of the Ravages, though. It seems like it will be a straight up fight going into favor for ZEST here. GG is called, and oof. Oof. Not quite going the way that Ragnarok wanted there. Was having some difficulty overall throughout that situation. Well, as the situations kept on developing, it just seemed to be getting worse and worse for Ragnarok. So, yeah, well played there by ZEST. I mean, that is kind of what you want to do in StarCraft, right? Make your opponent feel worse and worse about the situation as time progresses. And until the moment that you win. Alright, so 1 point in favor for ZEST. Not looking too great for my prediction for a 2-1 Ragnarok victory. Still in the realm of within the realm of possibilities, realism, but I don't know how far within the realm of realism. All right. ZEST looking a bit killer so far. Sometimes ZEST is just one of those killer Protoss overall. I was a bit surprised with the response to the Oracles, just kind of being that he stayed backwards. Then again, if you take a boatload of economic damage, go for the counter-offensive on the ground because you're like, oh, he doesn't have that much. He still manages to hold. Then you're even deeper doo-doo. So deepest of the doo-doo. There. Gotta change the names here. Lovely. Alright, in the top right side we got ourselves a blue Protoss player fighting for no team. ZEST. And representing the greatest team of all, of course, Alpha X. He is Ragnarok. Kozan says Dodo? No, I said doo-doo. Doo-doo. You'd be in some real doo-doo. Which is kind of like... it's like poop. Well, it is poop. It's nothing but poop. Says this requesting for another team on the stream. I mean, it makes sense, right? You want to have a team as a pro player, I'd say. Except for some of them, apparently. Some of them feel like they don't need it. More power to them, right? It's a shame because it's a lot of fun with the team games and such, but still. Oh. I don't know, man. And we'll never know until they make like a statement about it, if they ever do so. It's rough to say. Could be anything. Yeah, it's a little bit about just how much value you gain from one another as well, I suppose. Sometimes the team owner is just a really big fan of a certain player and they just want them to be on their team. Right? Because a lot of the StarCraft 2 fans are, or the team owners, they are pretty much fans of StarCraft, right? That's why they do this. StarCraft 2, not the... Well, I say that most of them do that. Maybe that is the exception as well. But, yeah, a lot of the Chinese teams, maybe. There's just so much more money to be gained in other esports, such as League and places like that. But, yeah, I think StarCraft 2 kind of has those areas as a lightning bolt, where all the people that are after money kind of go towards. And then StarCraft 2 has just pretty much the people that are quite passionate about StarCraft 2 in its own. And that's why they decide to be involved with StarCraft in the first place. CEO is a huge fan, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, honestly. Oh well. I'm very passionate about StarCraft 2 as well. Oracle getting some damage done. ZEST going for the delayed adept glaive attack. You get how they can play some millions a season and the revenues make up for it. I mean, I guess it does, right? It does the same for these massive sports, regular like athletic sports, right? I want to call them, instead of the esports, the A-sports. But, yeah. I've never looked too much into it myself, how exactly it happens within those bigger corporations. But, still. TV deals, yeah. I guess so. But still, I guess it just comes down to how many people are watching and how much money is there then in advertisements. Alright, big glaive attack right here, committing. Bit surprised he went through with the Shade. The Shade was on top of a lot of Lings here. I seem to be struggling slightly against the Queen numbers. Little movements from the Oracle there as well, making the status trap, but not quite catching a lot of fish. 10 drones getting killed off. 10 of them in total. Is that worth it? No, not really. No, not really, because, well, most likely ZEST is going to be dying right now. And not dying yourself usually does take priority in a game of strategy. Alright. Gotta look out. There is quite a bit of adept pressure still available. More being warped in continuously. Immortal is about to be ready as well. Well, it's about to be halfway. Of Continuous chrono on top of that, making it nice and quick though. Transfusion energy is still a little bit available. There we go. Does manage to save some of those front row roaches, and that is kind of making up for the fact that the shield battery is healing a lot of the Protoss units as well. So it's taking a long time before anything dies, but it looks like things will start to die here. And they're dying a little bit more quickly for ZEST than they are for Ragnarok at this moment in time. The Queens, of course, they're quite slow still to get themselves across, get themselves on top of the valuable targets that they need to be on. Getting rid of this third base is a good start, but of course there's a lot of work still left to be done here for Ragnarok to make this a good series for himself. Needs to get that third base fully saturated, I'd say, because pushing up into the main base here is a whole different story than pushing into the third base. The third base, a lot more open, a lot more places kind of to abuse. And here in this, in the natural area, this is just such a hellhole to push up into, especially with queens, right? I mean, your army's moving with the speed of a queen, pretty much. And then the rest of your army is just going to be stuck next to it. Okay, Ragnarok, he is droning up heavily behind this. He's getting himself a fourth base as well. Alright, so all he has to do now is not die for a moment. ZEST. Maybe make a couple more drones as well. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple more drones. Army supply surprisingly still quite in favor for Ragnarok, even with the amount of droning that he's been doing. I guess that is due to a lot of the roaches taking up quite a bit of supply. And yeah, Ragnarok does seem to be sitting quite comfortable, a little bit more comfortable than ZEST. Creep spread, still an essential thing here as well, of course. I'm assuming we're going to go for the Hydras eventually here, but I've only seen the Roaches. Roach Ravager Baneling Zergling is also a thing, of course, that is played. A bit frightening to play that against the Disruptors, though. How many Disruptors do we already have? 0. Very curious. ZEST moving out on the map here, not just with his, not just with Blink Stalkers or anything of the sorts. No, actually with a lot of stuff as he's starting to get Disruptors added into his army. Okay, moves backwards. Just a little bit of a feint, perhaps. Trying to get Ragnarok to panic and make units instead of drones. That could be one of those moves. Kind of felt like it in a way, right? Because there's nothing for him to really do there else. Okay. Both players kind of recuperating or trying to from the damage that the other one has inflicted upon them. Still trying to figure out what kind of transition we need to see here from Ragnarok, right? Because this army doesn't do well against Disruptors. It just doesn't. And well, unless if it gets like really good connections from multiple sides, right, and gets right on top of the Disruptor straight away, doesn't get force fielded either. Those force fields still a big problem here. But alright, well, he wants to try, he wants to give it a go. Here we are. Let's see how this develops. So far going okay. Actually, surprisingly well. Banelings getting closer to the Disruptors. It's going in bit by bit. Ooh, that's a big one. Disruptors not really being able to hit the Roaches so far. The force field's not managing to safeguard anything either. Okay, well, this is this is quite the bloodbath here. Ragnarok, well, clearly knows what he's doing. Huh. Alright, there we go, GG. I guess if you go in a little bit by little bit here with the banelings and such, you force out the disruptor shots. His spread was pretty darn impressive, to be fair. It was very impressive. With the banelings and such. Very nice, very nice. That brings us into game number 3. Ragnarok ties it up. Doesn't go down 2-0. The Alpha Xer on his home turf still has a shot to make it into the big leagues here, into the playoffs. Even if he does lose this match, of course. But it would be nice to have him be in that winners match. I think he would prefer to be as well, because that would give him the 2 chances to be one of the other players here. Here we go. Bottom left side, we got ourselves the blue Protoss. Teamless right now, but still pretty good. ZEST. In the top right side, we got ourselves a red Zerg player fighting for Alpha X. He is Ragnarok. Ragnarok. So far, having quite a bit of Stargate presence throughout the series. Thinking we'll see something similar here. Ragnarok, on the other hand, is also known for a bit of stuff. There we go. My bad. So yeah, Ragnarok also known for quite a bit of the shenanigans. Likes to pull out a rush card now and again. Pull out the big guns. Go for the drone rush with the Zerglings as well. Drill through the wall. Get himself on the other side. Cause havoc and pandemonium all around the Protoss space. But yeah, Ragnarok keeping himself on a tight leash today. Not allowing him to do too crazy things. Might be for the better. It's hard to say. So well, let's just assume that Ragnarok knows what he's doing, and that what he's doing is what he knows to be the best for him. There's that Stargate again. Adjustment to the left. Like that. Oh, we'll be Void Race this time around. Not sticking to the Oracle play as we did before. The links that were put up were status for Twitter for the Muslim. I think it was the baby for the Muslim. That is what got banned right there. Yeah, it's nice, man. He has a little baby, a little tiny baby. It's pretty cool seeing the scene kind of grow up, right? Get older. It's not really cool per se, but you know what? It is how life goes. But it's cool to see that even though all of that stuff is happening, the regular life business, the StarCraft 2 scene still as tight as ever. Still, many of the great personalities that came into fruition from the great StarCraft 2. And, you know, the community's still kicking as well, still enjoying everything. Having a good time with it all. Ooh. More Forges and Twilights. Okay. We've had a bit of Void Ray production as well, but we may not see all too many. Sometimes we do see these builds where you only get like 4 of them in total. I think we already passed the number 4 now. With actually, oh, wait, we also have the double Stargate. Wow, I missed that. I will admit that myself. Okay, so it will be a lot of Void Rays. We'll be coming through, trying to get a snipe off onto something. I mean, it's either going to be the extractor, the spawning pool. Will be the spawning pool, alright. I mean, this is the brutal thing about these Void Rays, isn't it? Ooh. Well, I'm sorry. Didn't you have 5 queens here? Oh, my. That's a shame. Oof. Good attack right there. Ragnarok not being able to scout that coming in. Finds a bit of damage. Nothing too crazy, of course. I mean, the spawning pool and the extractor, that is annoying, but is it game ending? Not really, right? Not really. I mean, there's no necessity for Zerglings at this moment in time. Still happy making drones, and the rest of whatever he has in army spending, he's spending to make Hydralisk, so. Oh, more Void Ray attacking on the left side as well. There's a hatchery there, but there's also quite a couple of Hydralisk. Hydralisk should be able to keep these Void Rays from moving any further. That's exactly what they do manage to do. The Queens on the other side as well, being able to help out quite a bit. Ooh, there we go. Does get one of those Void Rays. Storm upgrades coming in as well behind this, together with the Storm. So ZEST, instead of just adding in more beef for his force before going into the Storm upgrade with the Void Rays, seems like he is just putting on more pressure onto his opponent. That is his way of buying himself time, perhaps, in order to get to the point where his army is with the High Templar and the Storm. Oh. Little Zergling spotting the War Prism. Oof! Deadling! Oh ho ho! Almost getting that probe. Salad War Prism. Gonna be sent in pretty soon. I would assume. Maybe he's waiting for Ragnarok to make the fight happen. How many High Templar? 4 High Templar, okay. I think some of them might be having 2 storms as well already. It's quite a lot of energy on top of those. So that is definitely a problem. Oh, this is something else. That's a wall of spore crawlers right here. Ready to shoot down any warpism trying to come in. Even moving it around, seeing that this is in fact happening. The banelings coming in one by one once more. Setting off the status traps quite quickly and decisively. The Hydralisk and the Queens have a rough time getting on top of the Void Rays. They definitely need to get themselves all in line here and underneath the sweet underbelly of the flying units of the Protoss, and that is exactly what they do. A lot of banelings dying to the storm, but all the High Templar go down to the banelings as well. As we have Zealots going for the counter-attack. A lot of drones going down. Massive whopping of 9 High Templar. All there to start becoming Archons here. One of the High Templar just kind of on its lonesome. A big base trade event is occurring right here. As we continue onwards, the pylons for the gateways are trying to be put out. So we do have the... no more the ability for the Protoss to warp in more units. Do we have any attempt at running away with a couple of drones? He does have enough money here to make another hatchery. So far, looks like he's just going to be able to hold on to the top left side. There's still 2 bases mining there. Doesn't have that much tech available, I believe. Let's see what kind of tech he still has. He has the... Oh, he still has the Hydra Den, so he can still make Hydralisk as well. That's a big deal. The Hydra Den was made at the 3rd base, so... There you go. I guess sometimes it is a good thing to build it away from the rest of your valuables. Getting rid of this infrastructure right now. There's 1 more base remaining for ZEST, and it is slowly being set up as an enormous Protoss fortress. Will he try to recall here back into this base, or will he try to just continue onwards with the base trace? Does he have confidence in his fortress? Maybe just recall a couple of units, but then you are potentially stranding all the units that you leave behind, of course. Does get a big recall going. Alright, yeah, I think that's all of the units. Indeed it is. Okay. And with that, I mean, I would give RAGNAROK quite a nice position here. Has the 2 bases, of course. Has a bit of map control overall as well, because he has more bases. Takes ZEST more time to crack. And uh-oh, that is... Ooh, Zealots towards that newly established base right there on the 9 o'clock. I hope that is not a kill. That is potentially a kill. That is a kill. Okay. Indeed, the Lurker Den was created. There's no way of really getting the Lurker upgrades at this moment, because the Hive Tech was destroyed, of course, so makes that a bit more unpleasant for RAGNAROK. It's funny to see his natural base to be not as mined out as his 3rd base, right? Feels unnatural. An attempted expansion there, being sneaked out by ZEST. A couple of Zerglings will be trying to put a stop to that, forcing the cancel. That's good. Zerglings get the heck away now. No use in letting those Zerglings die in vain. Archon drop will be a thing RAGNAROK has to deal with within the next minute or 2. As we are in the awkward situation once again, where neither of these players really want to attack one another, because, well, that would give defenders advantage, and that could just throw the game in a sense, right? A bit of aggression that we are seeing here is from these Archons that are just here kind of trying to get a lot of drone kills, and, well, they are succeeding in a way, right? 6 kills so far. Lurkers starting to move forwards here as well. Deciding, you know what, if you're going to get uppity with your Archons, I'm going to get uppity with the Lurkers. Gotta watch out with the Banelings. Banelings still important to keep around. Really the best way to get rid of those zealots here. The lurkers do an alright job as well, but you want to have the lurkers firepower concentrate on top of the archons. Alright, that is... Where are the observers? I don't think there was an observer there. Without an observer, fighting against those lurkers is absolutely pointless. Here we go, Ragnarok now starting to push on through. GG is called, just like that. ZEST, a desperate hold, but not gonna be enough.